positive for Hollywood. They're reducing the number of gay actors, but they're increasing the number of child actors for no particular reason.
Oh, boy.
So go ahead, Helza.
This is from All I Want London. This is just the post to give you a TLDR version first. 41% of LGBTQI plus. It's getting longer. Characters set to be cut from US TV series amid scaling back on DEI. 201 LGBT characters, it's actually more, will not return for new series due to cancellations, series endings, and backlash against woke culture. This is from Daily Mail, and I will just be a second to give you an actual article because the actual number is more than.
I think this is a good thing. I think we need fewer of these people here, and I commend the Chinese, the Red Chinese, and the Saudi Arabians for helping us make this possible. A worldwide coalition to reject this poison, because it's certainly not the West that is stopping this. In fact, they try to blame Trump. Trump is not opposing DEI. Trump is not opposing wokeness. In fact, you could argue that Trump is promoting DEI with H-1B visas, by having 600,000 Chinese students, and by giving a blank check to a certain nation in the Middle East. And it's not Egypt. But staggering numbers of trans and gay TV characters. Happy Trans, what was it? What was it called again, Helga?
Week.
Happy Trans Awareness Week. We love you people. Don't kill yourselves. But staggering numbers.
Just so you know, for all of you, I live in a country when we don't have that week. Contact me for real estate prices.
There you go.
Best of luck to you, Turkey. But staggering numbers of trans and gay TV characters axed under Trump-era rollback. Rollback? Yeah. Let's roll back. Rollback of woke initiatives. I don't think.
Of course, they had to put Trump era. By the way, they had to put that
because they want to conflate it. They want to create that scare tactic.
It's Trump who's doing that. Yeah. And this is the number, by the way. This is the number. Just so you know,
we all know this has nothing to do with the American president, and this has everything to do with the ever-changing multipolar world that doesn't want this in their lands.
It actually has, I think it has one driving factor: money, or in their case, the lack of. And it comes from lack of viewership, comes from lack of interest to those shows. Like, again, I'm showing you the number. I'm sure 489 LGBTQ characters. 489. Where are you putting these people in? Which kind of TV series? How many TV series need those, like, such representation? Every TV series? And you wonder why they're cutting it, because they're on the brink of financial collapse, because you have 5 seasons of a show that nobody watches, or you have 3 seasons of that spin-off or continuation of Sex in the City, which was god-awful in my opinion. You had all these representations shoved into things that we used to love. You had the remakes and adaptations of beloved video game TV series. I'm looking at you, Witcher. You had a lot of perversions, for the lack of a better word, just for the sake of that representation. And for years, they were able to basically, in my opinion, lie to investors to say, oh, it's doing great. People are just not there yet mentally, but we're getting them mentally. We're pushing the narrative. More and more people are engaged. They're using that word, engaged. We have more engagement. We have more viewership hours or stuff like that. And they're trying to bandazzle like the investors. Okay, we need more money. We can make this work. But after 5-10 years, there's no more money. Nobody's going to be dumb enough to finance this stuff anymore.
Well, I could tell you another place where you see plenty of these characters, and it's in children's media where we see a lot of these characters shoved into like children's cartoons and whatnot, just so they can try to push that the messaging and ideology onto the younger generation as well. That's why we saw like that whole entire thing a few weeks back where places like Libs of TikTok were making such a big deal over seeing like this stuff on shows on Netflix and everything. But that stuff's been around for like 5+ years now.
And it was to normalize things. Remember, guys, this is a picture that I'm sharing with you guys, but I want you to take a look at this picture. I know that this will probably be a topic later in the week for one of the other network shows, but just let's take a look at this picture now, because I want you guys to remember that we were so close. We were within a hair's breadth of them making Zelda a biological male. And this is what we got instead, because Nintendo read the room and realized that there's just no way on God's green earth that people were going to see it if you went that route. And this is the first picture that we have of the upcoming Legend of Zelda film. I'm sure that there'll be more to say about it in the coming days and weeks. But again, keep in mind, we were within a hair's breadth of Hunter Schafer being cast as Zelda, because they created a fabricated reaction. Oh, you have to, because representation, and because you need to normalize it. If you have to normalize something, it's not normal.
Well, Jace, that's the thing though, is that Nintendo wasn't going to be doing that.
Yeah.
It was just the freaks out there demanding
it. But they were hoping Nintendo would cave to the pressure, and I'm not sure. If Nintendo wouldn't have caved to the pressure, if the Nintendo of now had been there about 3 or 4 months sooner. Because we know that Nintendo is pivoting in their behavior. But I mean, again, they realize that, hey, this is not popular. This is not polling well. This is not going well with viewers. It's over-representation. By the way, if you look at proportion to, people, basically 1 in 4 characters on television was LGBT, and that's not how it works in the real world. And certainly, even if it does, the people who are LGBT in the real world are not overly exhibiting it, like prancing around with a giant sign. Hey, I'm gay. Like it doesn't work that way.
That is just the thing, though, is that they shove these characters. And what kind of personality did they give them? Did they actually give them like a fleshed out personality? No, their whole entire personality is, look how gay I am.
And on a related note, as these LGBT activists find themselves out of a job in both Hollywood and in gaming, McDonald's has seen a record surge in job applicants. It's all connected.
Welcome home. Welcome home.
Yeah, the McRib is back. That might get Roger excited. My bad.
As the old saying goes, put the fries in the bag. Ho, fries in the bag. Ho, fries in the bag. Ho.
There we go.
There's one thing that you both said, is that especially for the what kind of character, Roger, what kind of character they give him. That's exactly it. You didn't need gay representation explicitly to have someone be relatable on screen, because we used to have people be able to relate to a hero's character, like their characters. It didn't matter if he was gay or not. Like if you remember Hades from the animated Hercules movie, like he was presented as in the future, like after the movie, he went out as super gay because he was like girlfriend, he was acting all like that, like a
he's just being very flamboyant.
Exactly. He wasn't depicted as such, but he was then put in that role by fans and stuff like that. But he was really relatable as well. Like Hercules everybody was relatable. You take some of the movies in the 90s and you have people with character. Nobody cared what their orientation was. Nobody cared. They cared if they're a good person, if they're well written, stuff like that. And these people have for years managed to bamboozle investors and tried to fool the audience that everything that matters in a representation is the representation of who you want to fuck.
This is the problem. They haven't figured out, now they're starting to figure out that there is a distinct difference between a character who is gay that is interesting and a character who is intended only to be interesting because they are gay. That is their only defining quality, is that they are gay.
Yeah, exactly. And a prime example of that, just a little bit away from Hollywood, go into video games, because just like with Hollywood, we're actually starting to see video game companies that are getting rid of their DEI.